Listen, all you marks owe Bill Goldberg an apology. A huge apology. For what you thought he did to the Fiend. You owe him a huge apology. You see, man, it's not good to be a mark, man. It's really not. Being a casual fan is way better than being a mark, man. It's way better being a mark, a smart mark. Being a casual fan allows you to be a level-headed thinker. It allows you not to pick sides and to hate on people for no reason. Just to give yourself clout and to boost up your ego and show off on social media like that midget from New York, right? It's like, I'll never forget, man. A couple of years ago, this was back when I didn't have a channel when it came to posting videos about wrestling. I was just, on YouTube, saying I was just commenting on videos and stuff. Saying I was on social media I was looking at stuff on wrestling. Then I looked at this midget from New York, right? I'll never forget when Goldberg beat the Fiend. I'll never forget that. And that little midget from New York, man, he just, good Lord, man. He almost had a heart attack, right? This dude almost had a heart attack. Like, it wouldn't really surprise me if he would put a hit out on Goldberg. That's how much he hated Goldberg for beating the Fiend. And the fact that he blamed Goldberg for everything regarding that situation, it really, really pissed me off, man. It made me not like that little midget from New York, man. It just made me hate him. About the lies that he says about Goldberg. How he just puts words in Goldberg's mouth. It's like he's a grown man. Goldberg is a grown man. How the hell are you gonna assume that it was his idea to beat the Fiend just because you hate him? It's like, I don't know why, just because you think a guy is not good in the ring, you hate him as a person. By accusing Goldberg of burying the Fiend, that just means, like, bro, you must hate him as a person. Goldberg does not love professional wrestling to want to bury a young guy like that. It's like, what part of this don't you understand, little midget from New York? Everything is run by Vince McMahon. Was it Brock Lesnar's idea to beat Kofi Kingston in 8 seconds? Was it? No. Was it Goldberg's idea to beat Kevin Owens that fast? No. Everything is run by Vince McMahon. It's like, whose idea was it for Roman Reigns to be the world champion for the past 2 years? Vince McMahon. You can't go against his word no matter what. If you don't know what goes on backstage, keep your goddamn mouth shut. It does not take a genius to realize you don't go against Vince McMahon. Whatever he says goes, you gotta go by it. Once again, it was not Brock Lesnar's idea to bury Kofi Kingston. It was Vince McMahon's idea. Goldberg went to Saudi Arabia knowing he was going to lose to the Fiend, and he had no problems with it. Why? Because the Saudis are going to pay Goldberg tons of money whether he wins or he loses. So Goldberg don't care if he wins or he loses. He's still getting paid. I wouldn't care if I went there to lose or win. I'm like, bruh, I'm still getting paid big time money. I mean, this is a work. I'm just going there for the damn paycheck anyway, so I don't care if the Fiend beats me or he loses. Like, it's whatever. That was Goldberg's mindset. But Vince McMahon had a change of plans. Plans change. I don't get you people, man. Nobody goes against Vince McMahon, not even Shawn Michaels. Nobody, man. If you're going to lose the world title, you're going to lose. Ricochet got his ass whooped by Gunther. Was that his idea? Was that Gunther's idea to bury Ricochet? No. Everything goes through Vince McMahon. So, to insinuate Goldberg was selfish or Goldberg should have shut down Vince McMahon's idea. Nah, bruh. Nobody does that. You can't do that. Nobody does that. You can't refuse to lose your world title, and you can't refuse to beat somebody. Not on Vince McMahon's watch. We're talking about Vince McMahon, not Tony Khan. If Vince McMahon wants you to lose, you're going to lose. Ask Bret Hart. Let me say that again. If you're going to lose, Vince McMahon will make sure you lose. Once again, ask Bret Hart that. So, I always knew Goldberg had no issues losing to the Fiend. Are you serious? The man has lost his last couple of matches so far. He lost against Drew McIntyre. He lost against Lashley. He's lost against Reigns. So Goldberg has no problems with losing. You know why? He's not a mark. Goldberg ain't no mark. He just goes for the check. Common sense, same thing I would do. Go for the check. Whatever the check wants me to do, I'm going to do it. But deep down inside, Goldberg did not want to beat the Fiend. Still to this day, Bray Wyatt has no problems with Bill Goldberg. He has problems with Vince, but he has no problems with Bill Goldberg. Bray Wyatt knows Goldberg was just doing what he was told to do. That's what pro wrestling is. That's like you a mark if you think that was Goldberg's idea. See, this awful reputation that people give Goldberg is sad. Y'all think it probably has to do with that damn streak. The fact that Goldberg won like what? One or some wins in a row. Remember? I think he was like undefeated for a whole year in WCW. So people think that streak was his idea and he didn't want to lose nobody. Bro, that was all Eric Bischoff. Bischoff did not want Goldberg to lose for a whole year. Goldberg was only doing what he was told to do. Don't that sound familiar? It's like Goldberg had no problem getting beat by Kevin Nash. It's like, look, Goldberg ain't no mark. He don't care who he loses to. Of course, Goldberg don't want to look like a jobber, as he shouldn't. But I always knew Goldberg had no problem losing to the Fiend. It was all Vince McMahon's idea. It's like, oh my gosh, I'd never forget, man. On Twitter, that little midget from New York a couple of years ago. This dude said Goldberg is an awful person. He shouldn't be in the business. He should have went to Vince McMahon and said, I don't want to beat the Fiend. It's like, bro, you don't know what Goldberg said to Vince backstage. You goddamn mark. He said that he was selfish. Oh, look, Goldberg burying young talent. Even though it came to this revelation years later, Goldberg did not want to beat the Fiend. It was not his idea. He was going there to lose, but Vince had a change of plans. It's like, how can you blame Goldberg for that? I don't get it. He beats the Fiend. How can you say Goldberg is a selfish guy for doing that? Like, what? It's like, dog, Goldberg does not own stock in that company, bro. Look, you can make the argument that when Goldberg beat the Fiend, bro, the fans hated his guts ever since. Ever since that, they hated his guts because you had these marks, you know what I'm saying, these goddamn smart marks claiming that it was Bill Goldberg's idea. He wants to bury talent. He always wants to be on top. It was his idea. Ever since, like, dog, everybody always links the Fiend and Goldberg. That's why people hate Goldberg based on him beating the Fiend, even though that was Vince McMahon's idea. Hence why Bray is gone. All right, so by your logic, right? Is it Bill Goldberg's fault that Bray Wyatt got fired? Dog, Vince McMahon was never really a huge fan of Bray Wyatt like that. What part of that don't you understand? If that was not true, he would still be on the goddamn roster. Right? The fact that the Fiend was selling all this merch, Vince didn't give a damn. He still fired him. He still fired him. So that just goes to show you that management was not high on the Fiend to begin with. He was fired years later. So was that Bill Goldberg's fault that Bray was fired? No. So how can you equal that to being Bill Goldberg's idea that he buried the Fiend? If he was just doing his job. It's like, how come Brock Lesnar is so beloved? Even though he beat Kofi Kingston in 7-8 seconds. Really? He's still beloved. But Goldberg is hated for some reason. For beating the Fiend, like, dog, at least the Fiend got some offense in. Right? At least the Fiend got some offense in on Bill Goldberg in that match. Kofi, no offense. That was a burial. We haven't taken him seriously ever since then. Kofi has not been taken seriously ever since that burial. But for some reason, good lord, man, you people are obsessed with the Fiend. So, man, I'm glad Goldberg finally said something. That it was not his idea to beat the Fiend. And once again, you can't go against what Vince wants. Nobody does. It's like nobody does. Not for past 40-something years, you can't go against Vince McMahon's word. Whatever he wants, your ass got to do. It's like people wanted Goldberg to veto the idea of beating the Fiend, which he did. But once again, you can't go against Vince McMahon. It's like, I remember that little midget from New York on Twitter. I'll never forget it. He called freaking Becky Lynch Lynchburg. All because she agreed to squash Bianca Belair. Right? It's like, you a mark, dog. She is an employee. She has a boss. Once again, when you are employed by the WWF, you are an employee. You got a boss you gotta listen to. This man is your boss. Whatever he says goes. If you go against his word, guess what? Your ass gonna be gone. Common sense. It's like, do what your boss tells you to do. I don't get it. Every job I had, I always listened to my boss. You have to take orders from your boss. Whatever your boss wants, you gotta do. If you go against his word, guess what? Your ass getting fired. Or your ass gonna get freaking written up. Like, here's why I go after these big wrestling channels. Because they have a strong voice. They have a very toxic, influential voice that can brainwash the masses, that can brainwash young fans and making them become very toxic. Right? It's like they have a cult. And the bigger their cult is, the worse it is on the wrestling business. The fact that little midget from New York, he literally insinuated that Goldberg and Becky Lynch, they buried Belair, they buried the Fiend. Even though the Fiend got fired damn near 2 years later. let that sink in. In the fact that I literally made a video last year, right? And I said that when it comes to Becky beating Belair, I said months from now at WrestleMania, I said Bianca Belair will get her revenge and beat Becky Lynch. And what happened, huh? What happened 2 months ago? She got her revenge and she beat Becky Lynch. I got the video from last year, bruh. Go and watch it. I literally said Bianca Belair will get her revenge against Becky Lynch. And I said that was no burial. I said Becky Lynch beating Belair was not a burial. So, once again, he was wrong about Goldberg and he was wrong about Becky Lynch. It's like, bro, you a damn mark, bro. That you want pro wrestlers to go against their boss. That means you a mark. By that logic, that means everybody should go against what Tony Khan wants in that company. But bro, he's the boss. He signs the checks. Whatever he wants goes. These people are actors, dog. Like, these people are damn actors. Whatever the director tells them to do, they have to do it. If they don't, it will hurt their reputation. They will be looked at as very difficult to work with if they go against what their boss wants. Same thing with Seth Rollins and the Fiend. Hold on, do you see a pattern here? Remember the Fiend and Seth Rollins? Still to this day, Seth Rollins is still mad at Vince McMahon off that decision. When they had that match at Hell in a Cell, still to this day, Seth Rollins is pissed at Vince McMahon for booking that match. Another Fiend match that Vince booked, right? Another match. So why are you blaming Bill Goldberg for beating the Fiend? Obviously, Vince did not like the Fiend. Okay? Don't blame Seth for it. Don't blame Goldberg for it. Don't be a mark. These people are employees doing orders for their boss. You have to do it. Oh yeah, he beat Kevin Owens in 1 minute. Oh, he's awful. It's like, bro, he will just do the job, bro. Look, from a visual standpoint, it does not look believable for Kevin Owens to look competitive with Bill Goldberg. Same as the Fiend, I'm sorry. The Fiend and Bill Goldberg, from a visual perspective, that does not look believable. Goldberg should destroy him, okay? Which he should have. But at the end of the day, man, I'm glad Goldberg finally told the truth. Making everybody else look freaking stupid. It's like calling Becky Lynch Lynchberg. All because she agreed to squash Bianca Belair. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, what? It's like, how can you blame Becky Lynch for beating Belair within that fashion, even though this is called storytelling? She was told to do what Vince told her to do. It's like, I'm glad I finally have a platform, man, to speak the truth and humble people. Look, bro, I ain't no mark for this crap. I speak from a level-headed perspective. When I said Wardlow got buried for the past 2 months, since he's beaten MJF, I was the only guy saying I think Wardlow has been buried since he's beaten MJF. And Now everybody is trying to jump on that bandwagon. After I said it, I was the only one who said it, who made a video about. Dog, I made what? Damn near five. I made 4 or 5 videos about Warlord being buried. Now people are trying to wake up now on what I said. He is buried. He is Les Luger and Braun Strowman now. But at the end of the day, man, you gotta think for yourself. Look, whatever I say ain't the damn gospel. Be your own man. Have your own opinion. Now, once again, I'm always right. Right? I said Goldberg did not bury the Fiend. I said Lynch did not bury Belair. And now Goldberg has finally admitted it. It was not his idea to beat the Fiend. He was just doing his job. I'm done.